I can feel the heat of fever rushing through me like a wildfire. Now we must begin. There'll not be much time. Part 1. Jane and Marjorie. Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm, for love is strong as death, jealousy is cruel as the grave. Song of Solomon, Chapter 8, Verse 6. Chapter 1. August 1514, Wiltshire, England. She ran swiftly. They were faster. Brambles and thorns cut into her soft-soled shoes, but she could not stop. She need not turn around. They were upon her, near enough for her to hear them giggling as they chased her through the broad meadow carpeted with the waving wild bluebells of summer. They darted across the timbered estate of Wolf Hall, the big house nestled among rolling grassy hills, tall fragrant flowers, and endless fields, then down the gentle slope, ever nearer to Savernake Forest. Jane was not to go into the forest. None of the Seymour children were permitted that folly, not even Edward, the eldest, the favourite son. Their father had made that more than clear to them. Jane was a child of 8 years old, and her little heart quaked at the thought of the repercussions of disobeying their father. But at this desperate moment there was no other option. They would catch her and torment her as only cruel, bored children could. The broad beams of sunlight, like great silvery fingers through the arching boughs of trees, warmed her buttoned, velvet-clad back, but gave way to heavy shadows as she darted between the tree trunks and low-lying ferns. As she ran, she felt perspiration drip from her neck down the length of her spine, beneath the layers of cotton and heavy velvet. She was nearly out of breath, but deep within her the instinct to survive flickered like a flame in the wind. She was so young, so untested, but she knew how to survive. Deeper into the forest she was drawn, panic now guiding her. It was not an unfounded fear. She had been hotly pursued by this group before. "Just a bit of fun," her brother always said as she wept afterward, her dress caked in mud, her face covered with dirt and tears. But this torment had nothing to do with fun, at least not for her. To Jane, the reason they singled her out was because she was common-looking, with her broad forehead, weak receding chin, mousy hair and pale blue eyes. She looked nothing like the other young girls who lived around the Wiltshire countryside that flanked her family's home. They had glowing, round and ruddy cheeks, bright eyes, and shiny hair that reflected the sun like silk. "'Tis settled, then. Little Mistress Seymour is going to be an old maid some day with dozens of cats, like the milkmaid round back of her house. No one else will want her with such a plain face as that," fat-faced Cecily Strathmore declared once they had caught her. The cruel taunts predictably came as the collection of girls pulled off her headdress and began tossing it among themselves like a ball, giggling as they did. But it was Lucy Hill's blithe tone, full of delight at the taunting, that hit Jane like a physical blow. She once had thought they might become friends. In the next moment, as she stumbled and lost her balance, Jane felt the tight clasp of a firm hand on her shoulders. Then the heat of fingers through the velvet sleeve. It was not Lucy's hand, but a male one, more certain in its grip. She was spun back around by that same hand and lost her footing with the force of it. Her dress billowed up around her and she stumbled back, tumbling with a little splash directly into a blue-black pond beside them. "Forgive me, I meant to catch you," the boy exclaimed, drawing her back up out of the mossy muck with the same awkward movement